Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always thank you for the support. I decided I would stay with this gnome for Christmas since I got the pack opened, and then after that I may move on to Hunkydory, but something else, maybe the members, diamond members free gift. I know I haven't had that out yet, and it would be nice to have a little play. So the first card we're going to have a go at is called it's called a corner open fun fold. So anything with fun in the title has got to be fun, right? But we'll see how it goes. So I've sort of seen a template online and then done it how I want to do it. So you know, I like my 6x6, so this is the way that I sort of amended it to do that. So I've got a piece of 300 GSM white card here, which I've cut to 9x9. I suspect if you've got any card in A3 that's slightly lighter weight, say maybe a 280, this probably would fold better. But we can still get the same effect with this 300. We just have to make sure our folds are crisp. Okay. So I'm going to come in with this 9x9, and I'm going to score down the 3-inch, and I need to turn it over just because my board is too short, and then I need to turn it round so I've got a line going horizontal and doing the same thing again. So we're going with that 3 and the 3. Okay, actually I think I might take out of the way, and I've got this, so I've got my horizontal line going across the top and then the vertical one going down the left, and I'm going to grab a pencil and my ruler, and I'm going to turn it around the right way so I can see what the numbers are, and I'm just going to put a little mark at the 6-inch on both sides. Okay, now if you've got the larger board, Hunkydory board, or if you've got the Hoogie board, you will probably be able to do this on your board as long as you've got a black line to mark to line these up. But we're going to score it diagonally from those two marks that we've made. So, and if we've done it right, it should crisscross right through the middle of our piece there. Okay. So now I can go in and give these all a good burnish down, like so. And then I just have to be a bit gentle with that because my line is a bit fainter because I've not done this bit on the board. Okay, now this is the bit that I struggled with initially. So that goes that way, that comes over, and then we can squash that all down. Okay, so now we've got this square in the top corner, we've got a piece here, we've got a piece here, and it stands like so. Now that, to me, when I'm looking at it, looks like quite an old-fashioned house, so that would look quite nice as a Halloween card decorated up, Christmas, which we're doing, you know, anything like that. The reason why I did quite like this when I saw it is because I thought sometimes when I'm using my Hunkydory, I do have that odd one smaller topper left, and this is 3x3, so it's quite a nice little space to put that on, even if you're just having decorative papers and maybe a sentiment here. So that's why I was quite drawn to this one. Okay, so now we need to do the decorating, which is probably going to be the least fun part. Okay, so but I think I found a little trick, but we'll see how it goes. So we know this back piece is going to be 6x6, so I can cut my normal 2 notches under the 6 for that, and that should, she says, yeah, fits nicely onto the back there. And then these pieces here, let me bring it so you can see it. So we know that from there to there is 6 and 3. So I'm going to go ahead and on my mirror card I'm going to cut 2 pieces of 6 by 3 to start with. I think I might need another piece because I think that's going to be just too small. And that's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. So 3 by 6. Okay, let's move that out of the way for just a second. So I need to remember which side I'm working on. So I'm going to turn this over just for a second. So I know on this one, this is the corner that I'm cutting off. This might be quite important. I'm making a note of it just because if I don't, and we're going that way on that one. Okay, so let's move those out of the way. So that's going to be behind, so nobody's going to see that anyway. So let's turn this ruler around 2 inches, and with my pencil again I'm going to mark at 3 inches there. And I don't need to mark there because we're going to go from that tip corner right down to there. And then this one, we know we've got it going that way. So again, I'm going to do that to the 3. And again, we don't need to mark to there. So let's bring this back in. And these I can line up on my trimmer. So usually I just get my point in first. And then just line that to there. And cut. And we'll find out whether I've done that correctly in a second. So again, just putting my point in, up to my mark and down. Now, this isn't going to fit perfectly to start with because we still need to trim the excess. This would be a piece that would be exactly the same. Okay, so we can see that fits very nicely over there. So now we need to take our edges off. And what I thought might be okay is if I take my, I'm going to go to 1/4 of an inch, I think. No, we'll start with 2 notches because we can't add it back on if we've done it wrong. So I'm just taking 2 notches off of the long side and the short side at the bottom because they are straight. And then let's see how that fits on there. That is a really tiny one, so I'm just going to take another little notch off. So this is going to be 3mm that we've taken. And I think that should be fine. So let's see how that is there. And that is perfect. So we've got that one, and then this one should be on the top. So yes, we've got our piece going the right way. So I'm lucky on this trimmer we've got notches going both ways, so I can pick the 3 notches along. Just wondering whether I should start with 2. Let's start with 2 because like I say, it's easier to so let's have a little look at that one. I'm just going to take that tiny little bit off. That just leaves less than a mil. And that's how I'm keeping these corners correct. Okay. So I'm happy with those. So we've got our 3 bits there. So I need a piece which should be pretty much 3 by 3. So let's come in with our standard 2 notches under the 3 and 2 notches under the 3. I'm hoping that should fit quite nicely onto there, and it does. Okay. So that is fantastic. Let's just get rid of these little bits here. Now what I'm going to have to do, or what I am going to do, is do exactly the same again for my next layer. So I'm going to start off, obviously with this piece we don't need to. We can cut that to 4 notches under the 6th, because that's going on the inside. So, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 6th that way. Okay, so that should fit onto our gold layer there. And we should see the house as well. So let's just pop that there because that bit's done. Okay, now I have just about got 3. I'm just wondering, so we want the gold snowflakes at the top, so we will keep that on that one, which is going to be our side one, and then this one is going to go across. So again, we're going to take that to the 6th. So we will have snowflakes coming this way, and we will have them going that way. The other thing I can do, rather than doing exactly the same thing straight away, so this is our piece that's coming across, and I want my snowflakes on that side. So if I pop this onto here, and if I grab my pencil, if I mark that down to there. Okay, and then I should be able to line up on my trimmer. Let's see how that looks. Perfect. And then I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, let's go 4. I'm going to have to take some of these snowflakes off, which is a shame. And we'll see what that looks like on there. So I just think that needs a little bit off the bottom. The sides are absolutely fine. Let's see what that one looks like. It's going to be a bit of trial and error because it is an odd shape. So I'm just trying to find ways where we can get to the point where we're decorating it and it looks nice. So again, I'm going to pop this on. I'm lining it up at the side and at the bottom. Apologies if you can hear banging. Somebody is having a party over the back. But it does sound like somebody's doing some DIY for some reason. I don't know if it will pick it up or not. Okay, so I'm just lining that line up, and if you are in any doubt at all, what you can do is pop your ruler on and then just make sure you've got that line going across. Give that a quick little that should take it to that line. Okay, so we're just going to check this angle. I think the angle needs to be just a little bit, I've just come a little bit away from the line there. Let's have a little look at that. Oh, that is much better. Okay. So I'm going to take the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see where that's at. Okay, the border is slightly bigger on the gold on that one, but we won't worry about that at all. And then what have we got left here? So this is not quite big enough for that piece there. So what I'm going to do is bring in, you remember I made that ornament with some of this paper with the mushrooms on. So we'll bring this piece in. Just wondering how much did I use? Okay, so if I turn that around the other way, I'm just seeing if I can use this odd bit and then it's not so wasteful on the whole piece of card. So I'm going to take that to 4 notches under the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 3, and then that hopefully should fit onto there, and it does quite nicely. And I sort of neatened up that bit of card there, so that's even better. Okay, so that is all of the layers done. So now I just move some of those little bits out of the way and we will start to assemble. Okay, so I am going to be using my all-purpose glue. You know, it's my favourite. This is the Kalau one. Just be careful, as I always say with Miri, because it can take the finish off. I think that's because it's the type of glue that it is. I think it is perfect for this card though, because it does dry real strong, and we've only got this piece here that's going to hold the card up when we stand it up. So I think it's a great glue to use for this. But if you are in any doubt, then obviously use one of your other glues. You may have another glue that you prefer more. You may prefer your tacky glue, maybe your hot gluer. When I first started out, I used to pinflare, Kalau, the chunky glue, everything, all of my layers. There we go. That's that one. And then let's come in. I think this is this one. So, and obviously if you were going to make this card over and over, what you could do is make a template from these layers. Let's say for example, I mean like on the blue sheet, which is the one that I'm going to be using, the same one that I was using the other day, there are 4 of those little squares. So let's say you wanted to make 4 cards. What you could do is just make a paper template of these layers, and then obviously you wouldn't need to be working it out each time. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that one on there, fold this one over, and once you've got the bits cutting out, you know, it just doesn't take very long to assemble. It's not a lot to the card at all. Apologies about all the scratches on my arm. I haven't got a kitten. I'd love a kitten, but the dog would eat it. I had an argument with a rose bush. So where I walk George, there is a massive wild rose, and it's been falling further and further forward. And what I tried to do was to thread it back in, because along that walk it's all green, like there is literally nothing for bees to eat apart from this rose that's just finished flowering for this time of year. So I know that when the council come along, they're just gonna like chop the whole thing off. So I thought if I thread it through a little bit, maybe I could save it, and then the bees will have a good amount of food next year. I'm going to move that down. That layer I cut a little bit more off than I should have done, so I'm not happy with that layer, but I will live with it, and I'm sure I can cover that up. And then this bit, so anyway, this rose, I poked it in and then it bounced back, and that's the result. It didn't hurt at all, which was weird. Normally when I get scratched or anything, it sort of stings straight away, but it sort of just took a while to let's see which way up. Should we do that way up? So we need that to go on. So yeah, so it didn't sting straight away, but it doesn't sting now, to be honest. It's not sore at all. Okay, so we've got our little pop of red coming in with this as well, which is quite nice. So this is what it's going to look like when it comes out the envelope. So we've got our little house which will open up there, and then we've got these bits here. So we've got choices. So if I bring in this sheet that I used the other day as well, with all of these little loose characters, and then we can decide where we're going from there. I'm also going to need some foam pads, so let's just grab some of those off the bat as well. Okay, so my initial thought was like this sort of thing would be perfect in that corner, is perfect size. I mean, you could even do all one there. This may be what I end up doing actually. And then have a sentiment. There's no sentiment on there, is there? Well, there is a from Merry and Bright. I'll be Gnome for Christmas. So this is my plan. It wasn't my plan when I started, so I might use those two on there. And then maybe some little animals. So the deer might be a little bit too big. Maybe a rabbit. Let's have a look. So if we're putting this on here, he moulds in a little bit too much. What about the green one? The green one. We could have a look at a squirrel as well. So it's my ruler falling over. And maybe the other squirrel going the other way. They've both got their little green scarves on. They say blue and green should never be seen, don't they? Okay, so we could have a little brown squirrel, a little rabbit, and a present. Let's have a big red present maybe. Let's see. The blue one. Sorry. This is the fun of these sheets, isn't it, really? But then once you've popped them all out, you lose them all. Maybe I'm overcomplicating this now. Okay, so maybe present. Is there any other presents yet? There's a green present as well. And then we'll put a big glitter on there. And all these little animals I popped out are now good to stay up there and nice and safe. And yeah, I think we're happy with that. Okay, so there's the plan. Plan's changed, but it's all good. Okay, so I'm going to start off with these Hunkydory, probably about 3mm foam pads for the squares. And I don't think this will fit into an envelope, a normal envelope. It'll either have to be like a boxalope or a box because of that fold. I think you possibly could squish it down, but it's still going to be quite a chunky thing, especially, you know, putting pads on as well. Mind you saying that, that would be the same height as that. So if you only put a 1mm on there, maybe you would get away with it. We'll have a look when it's assembled. When I've done it all, we'll see how fat it is. Okay, so what do you think of these kind of things? Is this something you actively look for? This type of fun fold? I have to confess I do like a square card. Like a lot, I do. Like 95% of my crafting is a square card. I do like using like a die border edge on things. I like to mix it up that way so that it's not a boring square. But yeah, I do like a square card, confess. Okay, so we've got these. Let's get the bigger ones. There we are. So these are slightly bigger pads. They're bigger in size, the actual pad, rather than the height. They're still 5mm, I believe. Okay, so let's put this bit on first of all. Sorry, I've still got this dry throat. Sort of had a curry last night, hoping that would sort of move it on. So let's just tap there. Pip. Yeah. Okay, and I just put tacky glue on the pads, just like I usually do. So I'm going to put this one flat. Put that in the centre, and then I'm going to use this 1mm pad for this red one. This looks like a new sheet of these, so I'm not quite sure where this one's come from. I'll put some glue on. Pop that over there, and then grab those Crafter's Companion ones again with squares, and we'll pop this one on there so it's just a little higher again. Just put it straight. Decided to go on the move. I think if you're using an insert or you're looking for somewhere to write, you're probably just looking at the back. Or you could just make a tag or a little bookmark and pop it inside with the details on. Last couple of cards that I've sent to family, I've written on the inside on a post-it note and kept them quite generic, apart from Leslie's, my sister's, so that they can reuse them. Okay, so it stands like so. It's going to be difficult for me to show you. If you want a closer view on it, I will put it on Pinterest. If you wanted to decorate in here, you can do. I'm not going to, because I think you're not really going to see it when it's on a mantelpiece or a side anyway. But that is the fun fold. But that's that one. So what I'm going to do is just have a little clear down, a little bit clear up, and come back with probably just going to be a square card for number 2. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so I did say I do love my 6x6 and a square card, so that's exactly what I've got here, a 6x6 card blank. So I'm going to bring in, so this is not Diamond Sparkles Glitter card in gold, it is Crafter's Companion. I think it came as part of a Harlequin set with loads of different colours in. So it's probably not quite the same gold as you would have if you were using Hunkydory one, so I think it's slightly darker. But I'm just cutting this to 2 notches under the 6. I am going to go round, I'm going to put that at, well, let's put it at 1 inch. I'm just going to go around and get that a little bit. So, and I can always use this for a topper or I can die cut out of it, so just means I've got an extra bit of card there. Not really worried about the weight on this card, because this is a decent 300 GSM card to start with, so it's going to support it quite nicely. Okay, let's put that down for a second, and I'm going to bring in my knife. So I think it's fine, and I'm going to be using this one here, but I'm going to quickly just go round this with my knife. Or am I? Yes, I am. I did decide I was going to. I'm in an R about what I was going to do, so I'm just roughly going to go around it, just trying to be quite neat. Obviously, if you're better with the scissors, do go with your scissors. I have days when I'm better with scissors and days when I'm better with a knife. I do prefer a knife though, I have to say. I'm just trying to keep that little bauble on there. I think I will come around this string of lights. Yeah, I might go around and neaten that up in a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just fast forward to where I've cut all of this out. Okay, so there's our piece all cut out, so it just fits on our frame quite nicely. So I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to cut this down to 4 notches under the 6, and so on that side, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 6, and hopefully that should fit onto there quite nicely. Yeah. Okay, so I'll pop those bits to the side. Obviously we'll find a use for those at a later date. And then what I'm going to do, if I just move those pieces all well out of the way for a second, I'm going to bring in my sparkle pen again. I'm just going to do exactly the same as what I did the other day actually with that Crafter's Companion one. So I'm just going to make sure that's quite nicely flooded. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of ink in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and just tap that quite hard onto there. Now it will take a little while to dry, so let's just pop that out of the way. It's probably not a detail that you're going to pick up on the camera, because it just gives it just that sparkle amongst those snowflakes that are already there. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a couple of minutes to dry. Okay, so that's dried now. So what I'm also going to do, just to really intensify that sparkle as well, actually let me do this on some paper rather than that matte. So we've got this sort of image with the sort of water bleaching effect. We've got our overlay, clearer sparkle overlay pen as well, and then we're going to add some details in. Obviously things like your creative expressions, sort of mica paint type things, you know, you can do all of those on top. Just really want to make this background the star of this card. So I'm just, some of these bigger dots, just putting my quickie glue pen in. So we can have those 3 layers of detail on it. And let's pop this on. Just pop that over. And this is the Glamour Dust, which is my favourite glitter at the moment. Well, I say at the moment. Going on for quite some time, to be fair. I've had this pot for a while, and I'm not even a quarter of the way down it, so let's put that over there. And we'll move that out of the way. Back to my inks. And I'm just bring in a little dusting brush. It might be a little bit too early, but just brush some of that off. There we go. And I will give that another brush in a second. I don't want to do too much of it because I don't want to pull all that sparkle off or smudge the glue so that it goes everywhere. So this gold card, this gold was self-adhesive. So in that Harlequin pack you got 4 pieces, let's just pick that up, 4 pieces of gold, 2 pieces of normal glitter card, and then 2 pieces of self-adhesive, which is pretty good if you want to do sentiments and things die cut out. They're all matching. Of course we're not going to because Hunkydory give us plenty. Always getting like slightly worried about using self-adhesive glitter because historically it doesn't always go well for me. Okay, so let's pop this on to our card again with our all-purpose glue. I'll put plenty on there. Let's put that way around because we've got those snowflakes, which I think probably will look better if they're in the sky. So we just give that a little press down. And then I'm going to bring in, I think we'll use these Hunkydory ones. So I've got these Hunkydory strips and scissors there. Just put plenty of support on. That for the sentiment, I think that should be plenty. Now what I would say is definitely use some tacky glue on these pads, even if you don't normally do it, just because we've put glitter on that backing card, we've put sparkle ink, so it will just help it stick. Just pop some tacky glue on all the way along. And I'm going to pop this into this corner again, so that's there. Okay, then I'm going to bring in the actual toppers that go with this. So we have got our lovely little girl, which I want to go up there, and I think we'll probably just go with this smaller sentiment, which is the With Love at Christmas. So do we want, let's see where we want this to be, and I've got some gems as well. I might put that behind the tree, so we'll put that one flat. Don't always have to raise the sentiment. I'm going to put that straight across like so. See if that's straight. Doesn't look straight to me. There we go. I think that is better. And then pop these at the same height, I think. Our little lady. Obviously, if you didn't want to use the topper, you could use some of the characters from that other sheet. It's trying to curl up, which is annoying. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one up here. So we've got our young lady. Just hold that down a second, bear with me 2 seconds. Right, okay. And then just to finish, I've got a couple of these clear little gems. And I'm just going to do random placing with these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, okay, so, and these are great because what they do is they just pick up whatever the background colour is. So I would say if you haven't got any of these in your stash, then they are a fabulous thing to have, because they're great for men's cards when you want something but you don't want it too blingy, so you don't want a glitter gem or something like that. And they just add a little something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think. Oh, I've got a dot of glue there, so we'll have to do another 2. So let me just make that a little bit bigger. I'll put one in there. There's space for a little one there. Just bring 2 these sort of smaller ones in. Okay, so once that's all dry, what I'll do is I'll go over that with my little dusting brush. And that will just take any excess glitter off, because at the moment there is glitter all over where there shouldn't be. Let's see how that's curling up. How annoying is that? What I'll do is I will put a little clip on that to make sure that stays down. But that's that. So those are the 2 cards that we have done today. So we've got our lovely fun fold, and then we've just got our normal card, just a normal 6x6 card, but just using that as a cutout detail, and this does scream to be cut out, and I can see on the you just grab it, you know, you get an inspiration sheet with the kit. Let me just grab it, and they did this similar sort of thing. I think you just know it's going to be the last thing that I find there. Oh, there we go. So we just pop this down. Yeah, so they've done it here, look, where they've cut it along as like a fold back card on there. Yeah, so there's always loads of inspiration on these sheets. I always keep them even when the kits are done. I started putting them in a little folder because they're just full of card ideas. You know, the shapes of their toppers, they are, you know, a lot of them are very similar, you know, it's just the theme that changes and gives them that different look. So it's always worth hanging on to those just for ideas, you know, just file them away if you've got the room, or take a photo of them, keep them on their phone if that's easier for you. Okay, but that's it for today. Like I say, I will upload some photos of this onto Pinterest, Sybil Jones Concoctions, and I will also put them on my Facebook as well. I always post in the Hunkydory group. I think it's We Love Hunkydory, something like that, the name of the group, and Crafting All Brands. So you will be able to get a closer look there as well if you want to. But thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. See you next time. Bye bye.